Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have Rytis, Lauris, the CEO and co-founder of OmniSend, a marketing automation platform that has been empowering e-commerce brands for over 10 years. Guys, they have more than 120,000 customers around the globe. Today I'm going to be talking about some insights, some strategies, what he's learned after 10 years of being in the automation game. We're going to be talking about what's working in eComm, what's not working in eComm, what brands need to be doing, and a lot more. Rytis, welcome to the podcast.
Nice to
see you.
Thanks for inviting. Great to be here and talk to you.
Absolutely. So for people who don't know anything about you or anything about OmniSend, just give us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I think you presented it really well. So yeah, OmniSend is, and I'm co-founder and CEO of this company, and we do marketing automation for those who sell online. So basically any online store, which is like either not using retention marketing, email, SMS, web push notifications. Those are the current channels that we have. We help them to send both campaigns as well as automated flows and automated campaigns, and help to retain the existing customers. And we are, I think, a really great alternative for the leader in the market, which is becoming more and more corporate and enterprise. And we're focusing on SMBs, like all the way from the beginners to mid-sized companies for the better priced. We can do exactly the same job as with a leader company.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all understand who the leader out there in the space is right now. I don't think we need to say what their name is, but I'm really interested to have this conversation today with you just around how things have changed over the years. You guys have been here for, in the space for 10 years. I remember when I first started, our first brand. So actually, I never talk about this. I say I've owned 7 brands. I actually owned 8. So my very first brand was a hoverboard drop shipping company. So that's how I first got into e-commerce. And we used MailChimp at the time, right? So that was sort of the only one to go with as far as like what I knew in e-commerce. They had, some integrations with Shopify, and then they had their falling out with Shopify, right? And that was a really big deal when that happened.
True.
I remember when that happened, and that's when we all switched over, right? That was part of that. So you guys came in about 10 years ago in the space, which is really at the advent of e-commerce. Did you guys start out e-commerce? What kind of problems were you trying to solve?
Yeah, so back in upon the launch, we saw OmniSend is a spin-off from digital marketing agencies. So I used to run digital marketing agencies and basically sell hours, and professional services for any kind of businesses, like both development as well as just creative part of it, and then running marketing campaigns as well as do just technical web development, as Shopify and Wix and do-it-yourself tools. It was the case that you need to hire someone to develop your store, your website, etc. So, and that's how we understood that, okay, those who sell online have unique capabilities to communicate with their existing customer base, because the entire customer journey is actually happening online, and you have so much trace. Based on that, you can automate things. 10 years ago, we came with a promise that we are liberalizing the market, and abundant cart reminder was a privilege of Amazon. Only big giant companies used those basic automation. And upon the launch, we actually focused, we were only email service provider, and we focused mainly on small businesses, like really beginners, micro businesses, mom and pop shop, etc. And we kind of focused on this category for quite many years. But 3 years ago, we started investing way more to be capable to serve like mid-sized customers. We're not aiming at large enterprise customers or like corporate customers, but like mid-sized customers all the way to 100 million in GMV is what OmniSend is really capable to serve now. And from email to full-scale marketing automation to omni-channel, email, SMS, web push notifications. We actually even had WhatsApp, we had Facebook Messenger, we had Viber, but we stopped serving those platforms as they did not work for marketing purpose. So, but WhatsApp is a potential candidate to get back. Seems like they simplified a lot of things, and it can be used for marketing purpose again. So
interesting.
Yeah, we will reintegrate again. But 4 years ago, it just didn't work.
So we're recording this February of 2025. Lots has changed, right? Lots has changed in the space. I feel like for the longest time, people have been saying email's dead. like, email's dead, email's dead. I think it was yesterday or the day before there was an announcement, another Apple email killer. Walk me through that new thing that came out in iOS, whatever. I feel like Apple is just literally just trying to murder small businesses at all times, like, is what it feels like.
I think the Apple is trying to make them pay in one another way to acquire customers, and then it's kind of like a big boys play. And of course, neither Apple nor Google or Meta loves email, because it's like email or SMS messages is kind of like, because you own the audience, you own the relationship as a brand owner with your customers, and those are single channels which you can be effective channels that can be used. And yeah, about email is that. So once we launched OmniSend, so we were trying to fundraise, and me pitching like, okay, guys, look, there's gonna be innovation and it's called email marketing. Everybody was looking at me like, come on, are you crazy? I felt like I was pitching a Lewa shoes,
Yeah.
There's no innovation, there is nothing you can change. But apparently that was not the case, and especially for those who sell online, for our customers, it is highly effective. And of course, like we see among our customer base, 15 to 30% of their revenues coming through OmniSend, through email, SMS channels. So I have no doubts email will remain, because I don't see any other channel which is as close as email for the retention. Email nowadays, I think it's equal to the address back in the days, physical address. This is just very unique. This is a personal identifiable. It's just basically your ID. Yeah, you sign up with your email, etc. Yeah, some people use disposable emails, etc. They don't love to be tracked, but vast majority of people are okay to exchange a little bit of their privacy for the better and more targeted marketing. So I have no doubts email will remain, and no technological or Apple's or other giant companies will kill it.
But it does seem like they're trying to, right? It's like it's with all of this, like they've got their AI wrap up, right? Just kind of showing what the email is about, which makes you then not want to click into it.
But still,
there's all sorts of stuff.
But it's like a wrap up. That's okay. And we had some waves. I mean, we even had some initiatives opens at dead when Apple announced some like Apple iOS 15, or which was it? That basically they start opening all the emails and pre-downloading all the images. So basically, like ruining the tracking of opens. But again, still it made no impact on actual conversions. The same was with GDPR in Europe or Californian Consumer Privacy Act.
Yeah. Canada, we've had a big one. CAN-SPAM.
Yeah, CAN-SPAM Act. So it's I think it's a bit older. It's not as strict at CCPA or GDPR in Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah, those kind of like when those like more strict regulation came into place, like there was a little bit of scarcity. Okay, what's going to happen now? But still, kind of like the revenue that was driven by email for the brands, for online stores, remain the same. Just you automate more. I mean, you as a marketer, you as a brand, you automate more, you send less. Spammers stopped spamming. Some of them, those who were in gray area, those who are fishers and scammers, they still continue doing this because we are just criminals, and nothing bad happened. So I kind of remain positive. So, and exactly the same. I mean, if you have a wrap up and there is a brief overview of what's in the email, still, if you are interested in brand, you will open.
Totally.
I mean,
totally.
Yeah, you will. Yeah. I mean, the wrap up will make you curious what's inside. I love this brand. I want to open it. I want to read more about this. Maybe it's a good deal inside. Why not open and take that deal?
I'm going to give you an controversial opinion of mine. I want to live because I don't want to ask you this question, but I'm going to give a controversial opinion. I think that you should always leave everyone on your email list. I don't think that you should always email everyone, but I think that you should always leave everyone on your email list. Case in point is the amount of brands that email me often that I don't that I see in my promotions folder that I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
at some point I'm going to want to look at one of these emails,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think about my behavior and the way that I see my wife behave on email and all of this. And there's something about keeping people on a list. And when I owned our brands, I would never take people completely and sunset them completely off of a list
Mm-hmm.
because I
Mm-hmm.
really liked when there was some sort of special promo to actually shoot out to them. The problem is I've been told, and again, I'm not an email expert, guys. Like, we've got a whole email division at Social Commerce Club that I am not. I've never claimed to be an email expert.
Yeah.
I would definitely say
Let's
on the customer
discuss. Let's
acquisition side I
discuss.
am, but
I
on this
like it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So is it kind of a controversial? Is it a controversy? Shall you keep or shall you get rid of and
Well, I
sunset?
think that the prevailing wisdom is 90 days disengaged. They don't open, they don't click, and it even opens. It's like, do we know whether they actually opened or not? Like, how much can we actually know whether they opened? Is that just a guess that we're saying because of Apple?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, 90 days, I disagree with 90 days. In general, sunsetting is mandatory, but I would say 12 months without clicking. Yeah, so click probably is that engagement metric. And of course, look, so still, it's
So
not
clicks we can measure.
Yeah,
Clicks,
we can measure.
Clicks were 100% we can measure.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And even kind of opens. So we, in our reports, we show, and I have no doubts, other tools as well, we show if it's just Apple Mail open or is it like real open. Yeah, so basically we have a list, okay, and it's never 100% that being read on Apple Mail. So okay, I know those are maybe, I'm not sure about open, like 40% I'm not sure, but still 60% I can evaluate if people are really engaging or people are not engaging. So Apple Mail opens, other opens, yeah. So other opens, active audience. No open, for sure, none of them. So so that's the first thing. Second, clicks, those are real. Doesn't matter which tool or provider you use, those are real, so those are trackable, etc. 90 days I would not agree, but like 12 months or so I would agree. Why is it important? Because if you have too old emails, at some point some of them that are actually not being used by real people, they will be converted into spam traps. And like internet service providers like Gmail, Yahoo, they use Microsoft, they use old, not used for quite a few years email addresses to convert them into spam traps. And
Interesting.
This is how
what's a spam trap exactly? Like, explain
this is
that.
how we test the quality of your mailing list. So they know that this email could not subscribe to your newsletter in the past 3 or 4 years because it has not been used for the past 6 years, let's say, yeah? And if you continue sending, they continue penalizing you. And it's never kind of, 1 or 0 that if you hit one spam trap, we're going to punish you and you will go into spam folder. No, but you accumulate. This is all kind of a cumulative thing. You're going to get some penalty score. And if you're going to get second penalty point and third penalty point, etc., it will accumulate into the penalty score, and the probability of you ending up in this like junk or spam folder increases a lot. And especially after like 1 year ago, Gmail and Yahoo made more restrictions, and they kind of became more strict on deliverability things. So it was February 2024. So there's kind of, for many brands in the market, it's a bit more challenging, especially those who were kind of more on the edge. So those who never deleted emails, now sometimes they face challenges that they just end up in spam folder.
Gotcha. So no click for 12 months. You're saying that is a black and white, George. You got to get rid of them.
I would advise.
Yeah. Okay. That's really, really good to know. I know that, hygiene of lists is incredibly important.
Mm-hmm. It should not be too radical. 90 days is just too radical.
It's too radical. Yeah, okay, good,
sure.
good. I like the things you're saying.
Yeah, and and another thing that is extremely important. So again, like how to keep your mailing list or subscriber list in general, emails, SMS list, push notifications list up to date. You have always be asking for new visitors, for your buyers to subscribe.
Gotcha.
It is very important. And like one of the kind of like great examples, I'm sorry, one of our customers, and then with an agency, by the way, we came with a concept. So they made a campaign on TikTok and basically inviting to subscribe for the special offer that's going to be a pre-sale, but just for their TikTok fan base, etc.
Okay.
That's how we converted a lot of their TikTok, whatever, how to call fans,
Yeah.
user
Followers.
followers
Yeah.
probably would be the best on TikTok as well. So they converted a lot of their TikTok followers into subscribers, and that's how how you convert into the first party data. And now you have it, you own it, you own the relationship with your customers, and and there was no kind of like win iPad situation. This is, I would not advise, because basically people would subscribe not for the product you are selling, not for the service you are providing, but just for a random price. But in that case, it was okay, sign up here and you will be the first to know about our new product, new collection release, that it's a streetwear brand. So it's kind of very like to the target audience, the ones who are keen to know sooner than others and to have opportunity to purchase sooner than others, just on a pre-sale. So yeah, that's again. So while cleaning list, it's very, very important to always keep updating and refreshing and getting new subscribers.
Gotcha. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's in general, it's kind of fun because I've been building. So, I owned a bunch of brands over the years, built big email lists over there. And I've been building my own B2B list, which I'm sure lots of you guys are on if you're on here, and been sending out, trying to add as much value as possible. And it's kind of interesting coming at it from this angle. I feel like it's harder in B2B to build a bigger list, right? Because you're just you're just so niche down in what you're trying to do. It's been very fun. I really, really enjoyed. I just hit 10,000 subscribers, guys. Very happy about that. To me, it's funny. We had like hundreds of thousands. I think one of the companies I recently sold, we had like 400,000 subscribers when I sold it. And now I'm like 10,000. I'm like, this is huge. This is massive. I cannot believe how big this list is. It's incredible. We'll get off of my B2B list here. And I want to ask you about OmniSend here. I've been seeing you guys come up a lot more in e-commerce conversations. I didn't used to see you guys come up in e-commerce conversations. Why are people starting to make the switch over to OmniSend? Like, what are you guys doing right now that's differentiating yourself in what could, from the outside, really look more like a commodity, right? I think that a lot of people think of email and SMS as a commodity. It's like, well, just whoever has the cheapest pipes, essentially, right? Where did you guys come in, and why am I seeing you everywhere right now?
Correct. So do people see it as a commodity? Like sending emails, yes, but like there is a very powerful layer on top of it. So it's entire automation logic, segmentation logic, deliverability things, etc. So it's kind of not all of the tools are equal, but yeah, there are players in the market, and that's majority of customers that are coming to OmniSend. They're coming from the leader company, and
we won't say their name. That which cannot be named.
No, it can be named. It can be named. Of course, everyone knows who we're talking about. So, and yeah, there are a few reasons. Just the leaders becoming more and more enterprisey, and like mid-sized businesses, small businesses. Yeah, they're looking for alternative solution. It's kind of with OmniSend, it's just easier to accomplish the same results. Just the interface is cleaner, it's not clunky, it's just straightforward. All the best practices are pre-built in it, etc. So that's the first thing. Second thing is like we provide a way better support again. So both 24/7 tier 1 support, technical support, a lot of educational material, etc. So which is very important again for smaller businesses that maybe don't have like entire departments as you do, etc. And for the mid-sized customers, the main reason is like we are better priced. So you accomplish, you can get exactly the same results, but then just save on cost. So
and save a pretty substantial amount from what I was seeing. Correct. It's funny. I've told quite a few. I still do consulting, some one-on-one consulting. Just so everyone knows, I am way over. I was just on with my productivity coach right before this, and she's like, "Do you still have all those one-on-one consulting clients?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. Yes, I do." And I know I shouldn't like run an agency with like 40 employees, and I do these like one-on-one consults. And I love
Like
it.
you
That's
just
why
like it.
it's because I love it. I
Yeah.
just love doing it. And I love
Yeah.
helping out these small brands that like can't
Yeah.
afford an agency, but
Yeah.
they need some help. And so I've been telling everyone, I'm like, you need to switch over to OmniSend. It's funny. I'm like, I've been converted over because number one, price, right? Like it really is. There is a substantial difference in, and I know what that does. You know, for every dollar that you spend over here on operations, you need $5 at least on this side to make up for it, right? Like it's a lot of, and I consider these operational costs, right? Software, I consider an operational cost, even if it's a marketing software, because I think a lot of people have gotten
Agreed.
into problems with that of being like, well, it's marketing spend. And you're like, I've also gotten into, you know, not being profitable because of issues like that, where I'm like, I'm just going to keep investing in these tools, right? So I love that. But customer support is so ridiculously important for brands under, I would say under 10 million, right? Maybe even under 20 million. They have to have fast customer support. It's so ridiculously important because there will be issues that come up that need answering very, very fast. And your competitor, the biggest competitor in the space, that is their Achilles heel, right? That is why people don't have, that's why we will all make fun of them. We'll be like, yeah, I mean, they have the most integration, so I guess you just go there. But just so you know, like you'll never get a response, right? And I think that's what people feel in the space right now. And it's still the feeling.
Yeah, and the same with like agencies. There is kind of recently quite a bunch of different agencies switching with their customers to OmniSend, migrating existing customers or new customers.
Wow. Yeah,
it's very, very similar reasons. Yeah, so why should we recommend like to overpay for the customers and the support for both their customers and for them as well? Like a little bit, we are there, then you need it. So again, like if it's kind of a really big agency, maybe they are fine with it, but in many cases, you still have questions. You need to know how to best utilize the tool you are actually recommending for customers. In many cases, you use on behalf of your customers, etc. So, and I think it's kind of like it's very important for us. Is as we are bootstrapped, we're not funded, we're not a public company, etc.
So did you never raise this entire time?
We never raised, and that's
insane.
Yeah,
like you must have had some late nights thinking to yourself, how am I going to make payroll? How am I going to do like?
It used
or
to
you
be
had to get creative because you scaled something fairly like 120,000 customers. Yeah. That's a big amount.
Yeah, and 250 full-time employees. Yeah, and we never and that, but that's how we think about entire philosophy. We don't even call ourselves bootstrapped. We call ourselves customer funded. We don't have long-term contracts. It's all over month-over-month payment. So each of our customers make a decision if they believe that OmniSend going to create value for them in next month. If they don't,
you don't
believe
do any
anymore,
long-term contracts?
No, and unless our customers ask for it. Sometimes we do, but in general, and even in the cases when we sign a bit longer contracts, it's still month-over-month payments, no long-term commitment. It's kind of a part of our philosophy, Just you're free to choose. If we stop creating value for you, welcome to look for a better solution. But that's what really helps us to focus on the customer needs and to create value for them and put the customer into not stakeholders, not investors, not shareholders, if it's in the public market or private market, but the customer really. If we stop creating value for them, we stop existing. So that's
you can see the decisions that people make when they're making decisions based on shareholder value, right? You can see those decisions. Then it's like, well, hey, let's just say, for instance, agencies were the one that made you into what you are. And then you suddenly are like, well, I need to make some more money here for our shareholders. So we're going to have to spin up an agency program ourselves and basically alienate all the agencies that made us who we are. For instance, just an example, of something one company did that I heard. Right? Like that kind of stuff matters, right? Like the stuff that you do as a company follows you around. Right. And as a person, right? Like you want to work with people that you have shared values with. Right. And I don't know, the month over month thing, I'm like, yeah, that's my value as well. Right. Like we do the same thing at Social Commerce Club. It's like, sure, you sign a 6-month contract, but you want out? you're out. You
Mhm.
leave, because we do not want to hold
Exactly.
you here. That is not the point of what we do or what we want. Like I'm so with you on that. You want to feel like you're
Completely.
providing value for what people are paying.
Exactly. Exactly. Completely agree with you, and that's important. And like, so some of our customers unfortunately go out of business, etc. And yeah, we should not be keeping them, trapped with long-term contracts and make them still pay, etc. And of course, great value, and the customers will be happy and will stay for you with you for long. So that's how we think. Sometimes our product people are not kind of the happiest with such an approach, especially the new ones. We still have to sometimes train them. But look, we're
Yeah.
building not how we want, not what we want, but what actually our customers need and ask us to build.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Where do you see automation and marketing going in the next couple of years? Well, what is that going to look like with AI, being
Sure.
interspersed in everything? I personally, and
Hmm.
if whoever follows me on LinkedIn and Twitter, like I'm talking about this human touch, right? Like
Hmm.
there's this
Yeah.
incredible thing about humans that make us so special that we couldn't have
Hmm.
this interaction if
So,
not, right? So like what does that look like in email marketing and automation?
so, John, in general, I agree with your sentiment, and we share it. I have a very similar approach that, it human touch, it's still important, and it will remain important. And once everyone will be doing with AI, still someone will be doing in a more human way.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that
totally.
that one will stand out. Because this is kind of like, if everybody can write an article in just seconds by writing a prompt, so then the one who is reading is somehow still evaluating which article I want to write and read and which I don't want to read, and by what. So basically, and some of them will be more emotional, and I think that we people will still will be able to have this distinction or understanding of what is more personal. Still, someone will have to come with a more creative ways, etc. And in general, so like to your point, and it's kind of a broader concept, which I believe AI will, of course, AI will do more and more of a donkey job, heavy lifting. So like to the automation point, yeah, we could maybe have micro segments instead of now
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
ourselves about the segment. We can in your
There's no
mailing list of.
value in you thinking about the segment, right? Like
Exactly,
that, like
exactly,
like taking
exactly,
data and putting it in certain areas. I don't see
exactly,
any human value. There's no creativity there,
exactly,
right?
exactly. And to your point, like about the mailing list of 10,000, which you are very happy now to have in your B2B list, yeah. So you potentially can create 9,000 segments,
Hmm.
and now you are
Gotcha.
not capable to do that, yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, what you want to deliver, what message you want to deliver to that 9,000 segments, and what is the logic behind you will still have to be creative. What value are you actually creating for your
Totally.
customers
Yeah.
as a company? It's still gonna be, I believe, human final decision. Will AI assist in that? Yes, but as kind of one of my colleagues said, like, you, I think that AI is just another colleague. It's like super effective, very well calculating, and like evolving. It's having another very smart colleague who's like super effective in calculation, can do the job faster than you do. So that's basically the main thing: can do the job faster than you do as a human being. But still, someone has to lead. It's the same as like if you can have 5 employees, 500 or 5,000 employees. Of course, you can do more with 5,000 employees. And AI is basically replacing that for 1,000 employees. But still, there is someone who's leading, who's coming with creative ideas, great ideas, etc., etc.
Totally.
So
You,
yeah, so
I was just gonna.
that philosophy applies to automation as well. Can be like very segmented, like very granular, etc. But still, the creativity will come from uh, real humans, not
Totally.
artificials, I believe.
I'm with you. I was actually, so as you were saying that too, I was thinking about this idea of there's this top layer, right? And that's you and me, right? It's
Hmm.
us inputting into whatever this middle layer is, almost like middle management. I see it actually disappearing more and more in the companies that I work with. And I'm even thinking
Hmm.
about previous companies that I've owned. Like that middle management layer is really starting to to disappear, because what I was always really good at was envisioning something and communicating it, but I wasn't good at then taking those disparate parts and saying and managing those things. AI can do that. That's the incredible thing, is it can be like, hey, Sally, here's your KPIs. Here's your, we're using like a different strategy framework. Here's the strategy framework here. Here's the strategy framework here. Before, that would have just taken forever, and you would have had to have that one full-time person doing that thing. I see a lot of that disappearing, a lot of that sort of like admin sort of stuff that was really difficult to take a CEO's crazy thoughts and vision and then distill it. And now it's like, I'll go for a walk and talk into my phone for however long, and then suddenly I have this like thing that 5 years ago you would have been like, Jordan, you're a genius. How did you do that? Right now, it's just like, that is just par for the course. Like we come up with these incredible ways to service a certain segment or whatever that is. And I think the same is going to be true on email, right? And on SMS, and like all of the things that the visionary founder is going to pour in, or the marketing person is going to pour in, need to come from their head and creativity, right? But there's something AI is going to do in there, somewhere in the middle.
Sure. But again, it's a very productive colleague, another colleague which is very productive, etc. But still, you're going to work in teams. Someone will have to lead it. Someone has to do the creative job, etc. So that's what I think. And like AI can help with insights to see more. But again, like, look, so technically, like AI, and we are implementing like a lot of like writing a better subject line, testing subject lines, writing a copy, converting email into SMS, etc. Those are the tools that are already in place. But still, you own the stock, etc. You know what is like good products, bad products, what you want to sell more, what you want to emphasize, all those things, they will remain important, I believe. But the automation could become more effective, etc. But again, like once everybody will be writing subject lines with the help of AI, you will need to stand out.
Yeah.
And potentially just writing a dumb human subject line could be the way for you to stand out. Just look, I'm human, and AI is just too ideal, and would never think about this stupid subject line. And here I come with a stupid one, and my audience is opening because it's different.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a couple of questions left for you. First one is, what's one thing that you used to believe that you just don't believe anymore?
Okay, so once we start OmniSend, and this is kind of very related to the current discussion we just had, like once we started OmniSend, we had a vision that OmniSend one day will be one-click product. Do my email marketing. And 10 years after, I still think that the human touch will be needed and will be desired. So it was kind of 10 years ago, it was like so much pre-AI thing, and we could not even, to be honest, believe that it will get in 10 years to the stage where it is now. But we thought, okay, it can be done in an algorithmical way, etc. You can do that, like one click button, do my email marketing. But people did not want that black box. Our customers, marketers, did not want to have just a single black box. And even the owners of small businesses that technically could be very keen to have such a product, because we have so many hats to wear, we have so many spinning plates at one time, they don't have time to do everything, they still will to have a human touch. And I think they had this, and it will remain. So that's probably kind of the one thing that, we will, any kind of marketing related stuff will not get just one single button product.
Yeah. One last question for you. This is wrapping up here. You got a bunch of books behind you. What's the number one book that you would recommend that every human has to read?
Number one book. Okay, not sure about every human has to read, but every businessman has to read, or businesswoman has to read. It's Hard Think About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. That's probably the single book about business where entire book is about how hard it's to do business, to build business, to grow business, etc. Because usually all the business books are about either methodologies, which is great, I love those, or either about success stories because they are written by successful people. And Ben Harvey is a very successful person, but he had so many bumps along his way in the business way. So probably this is kind of the best business book I would recommend for anyone who is doing a business.
It's interesting. So I've never actually read that book before. I know the principles behind it. I remember when that was something Obama had on his desk, right?
Okay.
This quote: "Hard things are hard." Right. And I remember learning my first career was actually as a paramedic. And we went through, it was right during the opioid crisis, the beginning of it. I think our opioid crisis started before it did in America. And so it was hard. It was really hard. And we had this resilience training. And I remember going through these principles of understanding that hard things are hard, and we actually want those as humans. I think we really do want, and we love struggle. I think we're made for adventure and struggle, and it feels so good, right? Like it's like with your kids. I don't know if do you have kids?
Yeah, 2, 9 and 3. Oh,
yeah. Awesome. So with kids, like you want to help them so badly, right? And you want to solve every single problem. And yet you're depriving them of this incredible experience that they could have facing adversity and then getting through it, right? Like that, there's something about that that's just so phenomenal. And it's like the business people that you see that you're like, when people think it's about money, it's funny because you're like, oh, you obviously haven't been in business long enough. Because you'll know that you get to a certain point, you're like, I don't need the money, right? Like that's not what this is about. This isn't about the money. The money's the scorecard, right? That's it. That's what the thing is. But everything else is about building something crazy and serving a need and solving problems and all of this kind of stuff. And so, love it. Thank you for. I'm going to listen to that book because I think that hard things are beautiful. I really do, and I think that we try to make our life so easy, and it's just not fulfilling when we do that. So
agree. And potentially that's why we will never be replaced by AI fully.
Totally. That's a perfect place to wrap. Just where can people find out more about you, follow you, and then also learn more about OmniSend and how you guys are changing things here in Ecomm?
Yeah, so sure. Myself, I prefer using LinkedIn. So Rytis Lauris on LinkedIn. Really invite everyone to connect, to follow, and etc. X a little bit, but not too much. And about OmniSend, it's omnisend.com, the best place to find it. A lot of great resources, not even for our customers, like subject line generators and testers and A/B test efficiency testers, etc. Free tools there, resources, educational resources, as well as blog there. So even for those who are not our customers and maybe not considering switching now, I welcome to visit our website and find valuable resources that we made for you. And awesome. Of course, those who have doubts about their current provider, there are great migration offers. At any given point, we have some good offers for our customers.
Awesome. And guys, honestly, I've only heard good things. I didn't even, before you guys contacted me, I didn't even really know much about OmniSend. I'm like, OmniSend, who's that? And then I realized how many customers you guys have and what you're doing for e-com brands. And it's great. I love that there are competitors in the space doing things. I think that every Goliath needs a David in this area here. And so I'm really glad to have you guys in here. This is my heart, is to have people that are, I think it makes us all better, right? I think it makes the entire ecosystem better.
Absolutely agree. Thank you, Jordan.
Well, thank you so much for your time today.